Hey everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back if you're not. So for today's video I have a tutorial on this eye look right here. It's super colourful and dramatic. It's kind of rainbow Arabic. So I did like warm pinks and purples in the crease and under the eye, a double winged liner, and then like a pop of mint green on the inner corner and between the liner as well. And of course we have a nice bright highlight under the brow and in the inner corner. And then we did the fluffy defined brow that I've been doing in the last, well, some of my recent videos, and I've been really loving it. It is just an eye tutorial, but I will have a full list of all the products I used on my eyes as well as on my face on my blog, as well as more pictures. So do check that out if you're interested. If you're excited for this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and also subscribe if you haven't already. So once you've done that, we'll jump into the tutorial. So as you might be able to tell, I've already primed my eye and I've used my trusty Urban Decay primer potion in the colour Eden on a fluffy blending brush. And no, this isn't going to be our transition shade as you might think. It is going to be our base shade. So normally I would dust all over with like a creamy coloured shadow, but today we're going to do that with a peach that's literally going all over the eye area, even up to the brow. And it's also going under the eye, and we're buffing that nice and low. So now that we've warmed up our entire eye area, we're going to add in the highlight, so like the brow and inner corner highlight. A flat shader brush. So that is going under the brow arch and then blending out down to the tail and a little bit inwards as well. I am blending it in a little bit further than I normally do. I normally just keep it mostly out here and then just like in this much, but because we cover the whole eye in that peachy shade, I just want to give some more dimension, not just when you turn your head. I want it to be a little bit lighter looking straight ahead as well, just that the light can catch it a little bit more. And I'm also going to pop that on the inner corner. And you know what, while I'm here, I'm just going to brighten up this side a little bit. I think some of that got lost in some blending. Again on the fluffy brush, and that is going into my crease and blending upwards. So this would be like our transition color. So you just keep building it up, because while you do want it to start brighter and darker down here and then fade upwards, you also want it to be visible above any darker crease color. So like we will be going in with a darker purple. So you want to remember that that's going into the crease and you want to see the pink above it. So just build it up until it's nice and bright and vivid, up a little bit higher. And then we're also going to take that under the eye. And again, because we will be doing some nice thick liner underneath, we want to make sure that we bring it down low enough that you'll still see that pink underneath it. And then at this stage, if you need to, you can go back in with a little bit of that first peach shade and just buff around the edges and make sure that it's all smooth and blended. So next I'm going to take a purple, and I'm using the darkest shade from the 115R from Inglot. And I'm actually going to start by using that on the tip of a shader brush. This one is a little bit thicker than the first one I used, so it's just going to be a little bit wider, and that is going directly into the crease line. And so using it on the tip of a shader brush or just a small brush in general is just going to give you a much more concentrated application of the colour. So I want to make sure that it's really pigmented right in the crease line, and then we'll blend it up. So now that I've gotten that really dark crease, I'm going to switch back to my blending brush, and with that same purple, I'm going to start blending upwards from there. And then again, with a touch of my pink, I'm going to buff around that purple. and a little bit over it because they're going to mix, and it's just going to make sure that that purple stays more pinky and a bit warmer than going too cool. So then onto the lid, I want to take a little bit more of my Eden primer potion, and I'm going to pick that up on an angled brush, and I'm going to use that to cut the lid and to clean up that crease line. Now I'll pick up some more on my brush and just spread that over the rest of the lid. So the first lid shade is going to be Matte Disco on the small little flat brush. And that's going on the outer half of the lid. And apply that to the inner half and blend the point where they meet. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the Too Faced glitter glue and take that on the little angled brush again, and just very lightly dab that on the kind of the inner third of the eye. And the pigment that I'm using is the Naked Cosmetics IV05 pigment, which is from the Ivory stack. And then just placing that on, slightly dabbing. And just feathering it out into the Juxt and Paradisco. Okay, so we're going to move on to liner, and I'm taking the Inglot Gel 77 on the Inglot 23T brush. And I'm going to start on the top lash line. So I've just kind of roughly lined my top lash line and just extended it a little bit in the inner corner. And now before I do my wing, because it's a double wing, I'm going to do my bottom one first, and that means I can get my placement right. So I'm going to come from the bottom and go a little bit more straight out. And then I'm going to connect that into my lower lash line. So I run that across, and then I'm stopping at the point where my eye starts to curve up again. So it's coming along the bottom, and then it's going to go a bit more straight out so that we get this gap here. So now I'm just thickening that line up. So then once I'm happy with like the general thickness and shape, I'm going to do my top wing. I'm not worrying about it being too perfect just yet, because we are going to smudge over the top of the liner. So going back in with my gel to the top line. So then starting from the top lash line, we're going to leave a little bit of a gap and just create our wing. And I just realized I forgot to thicken my lower wing, so I'm going to do that now. So I'm just going to thicken it from underneath. And then, as I said, we're going to smudge over the top of that liner. I'm doing that with the darkest shade of the 109 or from Inglot, and a flat definer brush. So I'm literally just going over that liner and blending it above. So it's making that liner a really dark green, and also kind of smudging above it, just softening the lines. And then same underneath. So that is our liner, and then we're going to add the little accents of that mint green. So the very same that I did on the inner corner of the top lid, I'm going to take a little bit of the glitter glue, again on the angled brush, and I'm using the angled brush because it's so fine and I can get into those little areas. So I'm first just going to go in between the wings and then the inner corner. Again, just dabbing a very light amount. then going back to our pigment, just picking up a little bit on the tip and then dabbing that on. And then feather it out as I get to the outer edge. And then that is basically the shadow all done. So I'm just going to curl my lashes and then apply a quick coat of mascara. And then I almost forgot, I'm going to apply some white into my lower waterline. So I'm just going to go in with the NYX Milk Jumbo Pencil to brighten that up. So then before I apply lashes, I'm going to do my brows. So for my brows, I'm using my trusty NYX Tame and Frame Espresso Pomade as per usual. And our little angle brush, again, I'm just wiping off the same one. I'm going in with that. So I'm just going to outline underneath to get that clean line. And then from there, I'm going to push the product up into the brow. So you might be able to see, I'll zoom in a little bit. So there's a little bit of a gap between the line and my hairs. So I wanted to make it even with this side, and this one is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to fill in that gap first of all, and then I'm going to start feathering the product up into the brow. So I was just pushing the product up into the brow on its kind of angled side, and now I'm going to switch it to create like little hair strokes. So we're working vertically. And then I'm taking a clear mascara. This one is from the Natural Collection, and I'm using that as a brow gel. And I'm just brushing the hairs up. And from there I can see if that exposes any other gaps that need to be filled in. But I think we're pretty good. So then to finish off the look, we need our other lash on. So I am using again my double stack of 14 ends from Inglot. I tried to find a different lash to use, but these really are just my favourites. It's literally just 2 pairs of 14 stacked on top of each other. And I'm using the brush on Duo Glue in dark. So that is the finished look. So guys, that is the finished look. I really like it. I hope you do too. It's nice and dramatic and colourful, which is right up my alley. And I've been really feeling these brows. I've been doing these recently in some of my recent videos. And now that I've gotten used to doing them, I'm really enjoying the fluffier brow, which I never, ever thought I would say. Just because I can still keep it nice and clean and sharp underneath. And I've just paired it with a matte nude ombre lip. Full coverage foundation, glow and contour. I'll have a list of all the products I used on my blog as per usual. So don't forget to check that out. There'll be a link down below. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you on the next one. Bye guys.